Hi, Marie here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm super excited to be doing something a little bit different today. I am going to be doing a tag video that I saw Peach's skincare do. I'll leave her channel link below and the originators of the tag will be linked below. But essentially it's a thoughts and confessions video, just kind of evaluating 2020. So I thought it'd be kind of fun, something a little bit different. So I hope that you enjoy, but before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you join the community, the Weird and Wonderful family, whatever you want to consider it. And feel free to leave comments down below, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get into this. There's a list of questions here that I'm going to read. And the first question is, rate 2020 on a scale of 1 to 10. That was a tough one. Interestingly, I think everybody's had a relatively visceral response to 2020. It's not been easy for anybody. But interestingly, when I heard that question, I instantly felt like crying. And part of the reason was, as difficult as 2020 was, I found myself wanting to rate it at about an 8 or a 9. And that's a miracle. So just to share a little bit, I've briefly talked about it, just kind of mentioned it. Usually I can't mention it without crying. So 2020 actually started in November of 2019 for us. So my son, he's always struggled with a bit of health issues, but starting in November, he stopped keeping any food down. And so it became the race to try find some sort of solution before essentially he starved to death. And unfortunately, when you have something that's really, like, his condition was really rare, it was really hard to actually find a solution. Emergency wouldn't take it seriously at first, and it wasn't until he dropped 30 pounds in a matter of a couple months that they started to realize, okay, this is serious. This kid literally is not keeping food down. And so he was hospitalized in January. Now the crazy thing is, there's a pandemic starting way across the world, and in the hospital that we happened to be in and in the ward we ended up in, there was a massive influenza outbreak in there. So as a result, before COVID hit North America, we were in isolation. We were in a ward where everybody was wearing masks, visors, gloves. They were being all suited up before they even came into the room, even though we didn't have the influenza, just to protect those that didn't. In the end, unfortunately, he did get the influenza. So it was just like all around just crazy. But for a week, we were in the hospital, just in complete isolation. My husband, he got the influenza from the emergency ward, so he couldn't even come visit Evan. So it was just Evan and I. We were there for 6 days straight. They were doing all sorts of procedures, and it was not an easy time. But I was so amazed at the strength in which he handled it. I couldn't even believe just his character and how he stayed positive throughout. And what was good about him being in the hospital is then the medical profession actually saw, okay, literally he is not keeping any food down. Thankfully, just being on the IV started to perk him up, and I started to see my kid, because he'd pretty much disappeared. So then we got out of the hospital, we got the diagnosis, but the cure is not really, it's kind of elusive. There isn't really a cure. There's a way of managing the situation. And so we began trying to do that, and we watched him lose another 20 pounds. And so at that point he was 50 pounds lighter, and like you could see his little femur, like his legs were just sticks. So it was the most difficult experience of my life, just wondering what was going to happen. In the midst of that, like I've said before, I found that things got crystal clear. Like all of a sudden, nothing else matters except it's almost like time stands still. And all you care about is your loved ones. All you care about is just spending those precious moments, because you don't really know how many there are. And really in life, we never know how many precious moments we have. And so it made me want to squeeze every precious moment I could. Like just extract the beauty out of every moment, even in the midst of really difficult times. So what was kind of beneficial, what worked to our advantage in 2020 is all of a sudden I was working from home, which made it easier to take care of him. He had he couldn't actually go to school because he was too weak. So we just I was in contact with the school, but no school happened. And but I was able to be at home. So I was really thankful for that. I know that's maybe comes across as selfish, but I was just so thankful that I could be at home for my son. So anyway, coming down to the end of March, I was starting to really think, okay, we're going to have to consider a little bit more invasive measures here to get some nutrition in him. And then he figured out that if he ate just before he went to sleep, he could keep some food down. And so he started doing that and started gaining weight. So things are up and down in that department, and it's been super stressful at times. But he's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good now. So that was kind of the bulk of 2020, was just dealing with that. But like I said, in the midst of all this chaos, in the midst of the world happening, my focus got so small. It just became extracting beauty wherever I could find it. Just sucking the beauty out of life, because if I didn't know what would happen. And so I felt like I was very much in the present. I didn't focus on what would happen in the future. I didn't worry about what was happening behind me. I just focused on the moment. And for that, I was really thankful for. And also just really gaining an appreciation for what really, truly mattered. So my family really mattered. My relationships really matter. Really, at the end of the day, that is the biggest thing, is loving and loving well, being loved. Those are huge. Way more important than anything else that I can think of. And it was really made crystal to me. Now, of course, because of everything that was going on, I felt like at the same time was basically having a nervous breakdown. Like I was keeping it together, but it was just kind of all broiling under the surface, and I was a disaster. And so I'm like, I gotta get some help. Like I gotta get some help. And I'd actually arranged for some therapy, and finally got in to see this person, and she is phenomenal. So I started going and seeing this counselor, and it's been one of the best things ever. So I think for me, the biggest thing that caused a lack of peace in me was always asking the question, why? Like, why isn't he getting better? Why did he get sick in the first place? Why are these things happening? And the question why would lead me down a really terrible path every time. Like it would end in me being angry at God, or being angry at someone. I had to blame someone, or angry at myself. And it was so unbeneficial. They're like, there's no peace in it. And she just said to me, do you have to ask that question all the time? Like, you know that that's not beneficial. So why are you choosing to do that? Why don't you stop? Like, it was such a simple thing to say, but it was totally true. It's like, I'm going to stop asking why, because how are we ever to know the answer of why? Why do things happen? Who knows? It's life. And I was always asking that, and it was robbing me of peace and joy. And so I literally quit asking why. And anytime I would start to head there, I'd go, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And I'd just actually reprimand myself, basically. And it wasn't being in denial, because like bad things happen, but instead going, how am I going to respond? Like, so instead of why, going, what am I going to do? How am I going to respond? And for me, leaning on God was huge. Self-care, huge, you know, that kind of thing. But cutting myself some slack, and just stop asking why. Because the why means I've got to try to fix it, and I can't. It's out of my control. I think that was the other thing. Stop trying to control. I stopped trying to control everything, because there's some things you can't control. There's lots of things I can control. I can control my weight. I can control what I put in my mouth. I can control things like doing my hair and keeping a house clean and paying my bills. I can control that kind of thing. Well, paying bills, that's assuming I have a job. You know, there's some things we can't control, but sometimes we can't control things. And so I quit trying to control them. And I found that in the midst of that, joy and peace and thanksgiving, like that I didn't know was available. You know, I've been a Christian my whole life, seemingly, but all of a sudden I was like, wow, I can actually be thankful, legitimately thankful, not pretending to be thankful, not trying to find something to be thankful for. I could actually be thankful. I could be thankful for the little things. I could be thankful for things during the day. I don't know, something just shifted. And so in the midst of all this horrible stuff with my son, in the midst of like seeing chaos in the world, I found that I just could walk in a place of peace, walk in a place of thanksgiving, and actually walk in a place of joy. Like, that doesn't mean I don't cry, because obviously I cry all the time, but I don't know, like something really did shift. And so I'm so thankful for that. I don't know exactly, maybe it's miraculous, maybe it's just that I laid it down. Maybe God gave me the strength to lay it down, and it's not usually that easy to say, okay, I'm not going to ask the question why. Hugely made a difference for me. So anyway, 2020, I wouldn't want to go through it again. I would not want to go through this. I hope that 2021 brings something slightly different. It makes me sad that so many people have struggled. Like, I think about the mental health involved in having to isolate, and, you know, so many things are affected. Like for us, appointments got postponed because the hospitals weren't open, or like, you know, had pared down in the way they did things to protect from COVID. You know, so I understand the angst of it, but in the midst of that huge swirling, like, so you've got the world stuff going on here, and then my personal stuff going here, down in the root of me, I feel like I grew as a person. I feel like I grew in a place of peace, joy, thanksgiving. And I wouldn't trade that for anything. You know, I feel sad that it came through something of this nature, but I'm really grateful for it. It's so embarrassing to cry so much. Oh. Anyway, I don't know if any of you can relate, but yeah, you know, we can joke a lot about what's gone on. It's been horrible to watch what people have gone through. But all I know is that things became crystal clear what was important. And for that, I am really grateful. So, and I feel a new sense of freedom in, you know, thanks to this counseling. I really recommend a good counselor. But I feel like the burden that I was somehow putting on myself with this why question just lifted, and I'm very, very thankful. Moving on, favorite memory of 2020. that's tough. You know, I wouldn't say that there was a lot of great memories. So many things were not pleasant. But I would say that my favorite memory was my husband and I and Evan decided to go on a road trip just before there was a huge lockdown, and it was beginning of March, so it was just before everything got super serious. We went on a little road trip and a shopping spree, and it was just a really fun time as a family. Evan, he was still like so weak, but it was just wonderful to get out and take him out and, you know, just do something completely out of the ordinary. So that was really fun. And then that led to me going on, like me and my husband Evan going on little road trips. We would do mini road trips all the time. Sometimes like Evan, he didn't see any of his friends for like 8 months or something like that, because he was too sick. So the only thing that I could do with him was we'd get in the car and just drive, and for whatever reason that was relaxing to him. That was super relaxing to him. We just listened to rap music the whole entire time, and I thought it was super fun. The next question is, did you change as a person in 2020? How? I think I've pretty much answered that. Definitely I've changed as a person in 2020. I value the present a lot more than I ever have. I feel a lot more peace. I feel a lot more joy. I feel Thanksgiving, like I find, like, don't get me wrong, I still get mad all the time. I still get frustrated. I still all, like, totally normal. But I do find that I'm, like, in general, walking in a place of peace and joy that I've never experienced. So for that, I'm very thankful. So the favorite video that you did in 2020 and why? I don't know if I have a specific favorite video. I do know that the components of my videos that I enjoy the most is when I come up with some sort of scenario or some sort of story to go along with a perfume, like I've always thought in kind of music videos. So when I come up with some sort of romantic situation that reminds me of this perfume reminds me of this, or this is what I imagine when I think of this perfume, those are my favorite parts of my videos. I also really enjoyed doing the 5 things to think about before going gray video. I really enjoyed doing that one because I thought they were practical kind of tips that were helpful. And I kind of want to do more of those in the future, like 5 things to think about before saying I do, 5 things to think about to have a healthy marriage, just things like that I think about. 5 things to think about in order to be confident. I don't know, like something like that. So I'm thinking of doing something like that. I don't know if people would be interested, but we'll see. So the next question is 1 or 2 products that blew you away in 2020. I would say the products that blew me away the most are my shampoo and styling products, and it's the Unite brand. I just love them. I think that they're excellent products. They clean my hair, they keep my hair shiny and healthy. I love the styling products. They actually they hold curl really good, and as a result I don't have to use my curling iron tons. Like I'll use it once every few days kind of thing. Like basically I curl my hair once and then it's good until I wash it. So love those. As far as perfumes, is there a perfume that totally blew me away in 2020 that I can't stop smelling? I don't know, like I love so many of them. I would say that the one that kind of shocked me the most would be Olympea Aqua and Olympea Intense, because I never thought I'd like a salt note, but I really, really love it. So yeah, that one kind of blew me away from a perspective of never thinking I would like salt in a perfume. What creator on YouTube inspired you the most in 2020? I would say Sheree Lewis. I just love her confidence. I love her shine. She's bright. She's who she is. She loves nice things. I don't know, there's just something about her that's just sparkly and wonderful. Really love her. Really love Karina Waldron. I really love Manahil from Perfume Realm as far as her knowledge on perfumes. I think that would be it. Like, I've primarily watched perfume videos over the past little while. I also really love Da Vinci's Alchemist. I just really love the production in his videos. He's super entertaining, and yeah, he's just fun to listen to, and I like his take on perfumes, and he's just, yeah, he's an oddball, and I really like him. What is the funniest, meanest, strangest comment you got under a video? I haven't gotten a ton of strange comments. I'm trying to think. All the comments for the most part are positive. Maybe the only one there was one that was slightly mean. This person said, "You call yourself Perfume something, and you can't even pronounce the name." I don't know, like, it was probably Dolce and Gabbana, because I'm not sure if it's Dolce and Gabbana, like Dolce and Gabbana, or Dolce Gabbana, like Dolce Gabbana. Like, I don't know, and I just don't know. But I don't care, like, that's the thing. So he's like, "You call yourself a perfume, whatever, like, how could you," kind of like that. And I just said, "I'm not sure what you're referring to." I think it was that, but I'm not sure. But I'm glad it gave you a laugh, because he put like LOL, like he was trying to make fun of me, but I didn't care. Like, I just thought, well, I guess he's got a point. Whatever, like. What is your proudest accomplishment of 2020? I would say my proudest accomplishment, I'm proud of how I've handled everything that's gone on this year. You know, but the other thing that I'm really proud of is starting YouTube again. So I kind of got bored, like, because I was at home and working from home, and so then you've got more time. And so just starting the YouTube channel again and getting involved in perfume, loving the community, all of that kind of stuff, that's been really fun. I wouldn't consider it my proudest accomplishment, but I am really excited that I've gotten almost to 2,000 subscribers. So that's really exciting. I'm very happy. Yeah, I want it to grow and grow and grow and grow, but for now, you know, I'm still really happy with the growth that I've seen. So yeah. What is the one word you would use to describe yourself in 2021? Oh, that's a good question. I think that the word that I would use to describe myself in 2021 is ready. I am ready for new things. I am ready for health. I am ready to grow. I am ready for whatever comes. I know that God's given me the strength to handle it, or he will give me the strength to handle it. Yeah, so ready. I'm ready. But I'm also, yeah, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready for some good things. I'm ready for my destiny, whatever that is. Like, I want to, I guess that's the thing. In everything that I've gone through, it's made me want to squeeze everything out of life that I can. I remember hearing this quote, and I thought it was phenomenal. And it was kind of horrible. It was that the graveyard is the richest place on earth. And then the kind of qualification of that was, in the graveyard lies a storehouse of dreams. You know, books that were never written, stores that were never opened, inventions that were never realized, you know, that kind of idea where we sit on our dreams, you know, and then die with them. I don't want to do that. So I want to squeeze as much out of life as possible. I want to squeeze as much out of me as possible. I want to reach my potential as much as possible. And I think that I'm going to end this with, that's my hope for you this year. That in the midst of trying times, that you would find yourself squeezing the most out of life, experiencing beauty in the small things, in the mundane even, like just extracting the joy out of every moment that you can with your loved ones, and really reaching into yourself to extract your potential and to take chances to reach your full potential, whatever that might be. That's what I want for myself, and that's what I want for you too. So anyway, that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this. A little bit different. We laughed, we cried. Maybe we laughed, I cried. I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.